How much wood could you chop if you chopped wood? Why don't you ask the wood enthusiasts?
Hello, this is Larry Woodstone. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 10. We are super excited. We have an incredible guest today. We've been so lucky. We've been so lucky because the last few episodes we've had some absolutely incredible guests. And tonight we have one that is going to shock people. It's going to surprise people. They're going to be excited. And I'm not going to wait around too long. We've actually we had some issues booking Mr. Josh Friend. He's a world-renowned voiceover specialist. Just before I start, I want to list a few things. We're going to talk about this at the end, but I'm going to list a few things for you. Okay? Indiana Jones, The Crystal Skull. Die Hard 4, The Goonies, The Never-Ending Story 5, Karate Kid Part 4, Princess Barbie and the Neverlands. Those movies all have something in common. I'm not going to tell you what it is now, but at the end of the episode, stick around and we're going to tell you exactly why I listed those episodes and what they all have in common. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting for you to hear this. So, unfortunately, we weren't able to have Josh Friend live on us right now, so you guys could hear it live. So, me and Mr. Friend met in a booth, and we recorded this interview separately. Not, it doesn't have that kind of live feel, but we were just in a booth, we were just talking, and most of these questions, all of these questions, I didn't ask him ahead of time. So, we're just going to go ahead and see where we land, and I'm really excited for this. So, thank you, Mr. Friend, for joining us.
Yeah, well, hey, thanks, Larry. It is great to be here. So, you can call me Josh if you want to, but I officially am Reverend Josh,
Of course.
Or Pastor Josh, if you like. But it certainly doesn't matter to me. And it's just an honor to be chatting to another wood enthusiast, I suppose.
Yes, we are without question kind of the definition of wood enthusiasts, and I'm glad that over the past few months you've really jumped on board and you've been kind of excited to join our team, and that's huge for us because you stand kind of on the stage, on the forefront of celebrity, really. You've seen some of the biggest atmospheres and some of the biggest studios in the world doing some incredible things. I've got a little clip here, Reverend, that I wanted to play here, and this was a little segment that you actually were kind of doing a competition for who could do the lowest voice. So I'm just going to play this right here, and we're going to let the people hear what it sounds like. What it sounds like when you're going as deep as you possibly can. This is my, that's my deep voice. I talk like this sometimes when it's late at night and me and Bernice are just talking, but I wanted people to hear your official recording. So let's have a little listen here.
My name is Josh Friend. This is my submission to Universal Decca Records for Paul Mueller's De Profundis in an attempt to sing the low E. I will sing from the B to the E.
Oh, wow. Oh, dear heavens. Oh, Gary's gonna love this. Oh, wow. Mr. Friend, that is truly glorious material. Gary's just gonna love that. What an incredible voice. That is my kind of wipe the sweat off the brow on that one, don't you? My goodness, wow, what a recording.
Yep.
So Josh, Reverend Josh, I know that you and Gary have a very special relationship. You guys have known each other for years and years and years and years and years. And I just kind of wanted to understand what it is. So you guys do know each other outside of the wood enthusiast community.
Well, yes. I know Gary. I know him very, very well.
Oh my goodness, that's certainly very interesting. It's kind of, a little bit, it's a little bit mysterious, really. It feels a little bit mysterious, doesn't it? So that's actually a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest.
Yep.
Josh, we are so excited to have you on it. My apologies for just not being able to line up a live show to have you come in with with all the guys and kind of sit around in the studio and kind of shoot the pucks into the net, kind of so to speak in Canadian language. So, but we really appreciate really appreciate you making a time for us just to come in the studio.
Sorry, I just wasn't available. Just a little busy, I guess. I wish that I could be there live with you guys to record this, put this down, but I've got my own studio at home, and I'm just happy with that. So, I don't want to say that I'm famous, but
no, that's not something that you even put out there. But I know you've got an incredible studio, and we were by there. We actually, me and Gary flew to Alberta a few months ago, and we kind of looked at your studio and your mahogany lined walls, and you have a cedar room, and it's something that actually I think we have some pictures of it. I know that Gary was just snapping pictures of it because he couldn't believe it. It was some really truly beautiful stuff, and I understand with kind of the level of fame that you have to kind of have your own place. You have to have your own place, and you can't always be traveling all over the place just for a couple of guys on a podcast. So believe me, we do understand. So, Mr. Friend, I just want to ask you a question. This is a question actually sent in from one of our very good friends, Mr. Glenn Clutterbuck. He wasn't obviously able to make it here today because of the scheduling issues and because of some of your celebrities. So, but he wanted to ask you. He had a very interesting question. He just sent me a text. He sent me a little text, and it said he was wondering. Let me. I just have to back up a little bit here and just read it. I'm just reading it from my phone. So he was asking, why do you speak so nice and why do you speak so low? He said, Larry Woodstone, maybe you could ask him why he speaks so nice and why he speaks so low.
People do ask me about my low voice and how that kind of came to be. I remember it was, I was probably about 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
When I was kind of discovered. I was in woodshop and was called out so that I could go and do something.
Sorry, Mr. Friend. 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 Yeah, sorry, Mr. Friend. Yeah, sorry. We do have to take a commercial break, so please stay with us for a second. We just got a little brief commercial break. We're really excited about this product. We've been talking for years and years and years about this product, so just give us a moment and we'll be right back.
Pine. Use it for furniture in your home.
Thank you for your patience so much. We really appreciate it. Sorry that we had to kind of squirt that in there a little bit, but we're so proud, to have those sponsors and those products on our show. We're really excited about it. So, anyways.
So, I gave up woodshop for being in choir, actually.
Wow, that is incredible. What a story. Oh my goodness, Mr. Friend, what a story! Reverend Friend. That's incredible to hear that. It just kind of happened. Sometimes things in life just kind of happen perchance. Sometimes I'll be fishing through a lumber bin. Sometimes I'll be just kind of, wishy-washy and kind of fishing through a lumber bin, seeing what kind of pieces are left. I like to buy the cut ends. I like to go to some of the big box stores and take a look at the treasures at the bottom, the cut ends that are, 50 cents or 25 cents. And I like to collect those cut ends and bring them home and make some small treasures. And sometimes things just happen. Sometimes you just kind of bump into something. Sometimes you reach down to the bottom of the bin and you pull up a little piece of sycamore, or you pull up a little piece of, white ash. It's just something you didn't expect. It's not always the best, it's not always the worst, but it's just something you didn't expect. And I think that's truly a beautiful thing here. I think that's truly beautiful. So, Mr. Friend, speaking of all the woods there, I'm just wondering if you have a favorite type of wood.
My favorite kind of wood? Ooh, that's tough to say. Balumba? Is that a wood?
Yes, Balumba is a wood, and it's a gorgeous wood. It's a very precious wood. It's a very rare precious wood.
I feel like that's a wood.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's one of my favorites. I have a top 200 list, actually. I've been keeping a top 200 list probably for the last decade, maybe decade and a half, and it's climbed on the top 200 list. I think it climbed on. Oh my goodness, I can't even think. It's probably climbed on to the top 200 list in 99, maybe 2001, something like that, around that time.
Ooh, I do like hickory, though. But not the sticks. Like the hickory sticks, that's just not my thing.
Oh no, no. I actually, I don't like hickory sticks at all. But I know Glenn Clutterbuck absolutely downs them. He just downs bag after bag after bag after bag of hickory sticks, and he kind of feels like he's kind of bringing nature inside of himself, and that's something he's always said. But I think I'm going to stick with your Balumba as an answer, and maybe leave hickory off the list for right now. I mean, it is a beautiful wood. I'm not cutting down the wood. I'm kind of more addressing the hickory sticks.
But hickory, I do like. Ebony. Love ebony wood.
I just got another question here. There was another question that was posed because a lot of people knew you were coming on. You've done a lot of voiceovers for us, and you're kind of well known in the wood enthusiast community. So there was a lot of people that had questions for you, and we posted it out there. Said if you guys have any questions, please just send them in. So we do have a question here. And this is kind of a big issue, and this is kind of a big issue for us. And I know you've heard the controversy. It's kind of rolled out there globally, and it's not something we can hide anymore. And we are responding to it. We do have an official a video that we're going to be releasing. I'm not sure where it's going to fall on the episode list, but we do have a 2-part series where we're actually going to be responding to the controversy that came out in podcast 7, and I believe you've heard it. So I was wondering where you stand on the wood binary issue. So basically, in kind of in a short form, so one half of our team, Gary specifically, believes that there's only 2 types of wood: hardwood and softwood. And some of the other guys, including myself at one point, I'm not going to say where I stand. I'm not going to say where I stand right now, but including myself, that believe that there's kind of a spectrum. There's kind of a spectrum, and we don't necessarily fall in one place or the other. And it's not just an A and B. It's not just a 1 or 2. It's not just a black and white, but there's kind of a spectrum. And there's more than just a softwood, hardwood type of tree. That there's a wide variety. 26,000 different species and varieties that really kind of open up the world. I wanted to know where you stood on that topic.
Oh, this is a big debate. The binary, options here, whether there's just hardwood, softwood, or what. I got to say, I don't really like to enter into this debate as a preaching person. I find that it's best to leave politics out of the pulpit, and so a lot of times I stay away from having a very strong political opinion about such things. So I've got to be very careful here. But I guess if I was inclined to any one position, it's probably to be on the spectrum. That there's a spectrum of wood out there.
Oh my goodness! Well, this is certainly a surprise. I know there's a strong kind of conservative pull. Some of the wood enthusiasts who find themselves to be kind of a conservative bunch when it comes to how they label trees and how they view trees, and that's a bit of a surprise. But I think Glenn's going to be very excited to hear that. He's going to be very, very excited to hear that he's got some support there, and I've got my leanings, and I'm not sure where I actually fall. I'm not sure. I'm still kind of wading through the waters, as Glenn says. He always says, "Oh, you're just wading through the waters." He says, "Oh, Mr. Woodstone, you're just kind of wading through the waters," and that's what I'm doing. It's truly what I'm doing. I'm just kind of trying to feel my way through. So we have another question. We have another question from a young man, a young man named Quentin. He comes from Sarnia, Ontario. I can tell by his penmanship and his texts that he looks like a very young man, but he looks like a very smart man, a very strong man. And he notes this question. He wonders, Mr. Friend, how many books have you read?
How many books? Right now? Right now, I probably have, 5 or 6 books open right now. I could 5 or 6. I'd rather not tell you what their names are. And what their titles are, or who's written them, or to give you any information about them.
No, I think that's a great response. I think a lot of that is personal.
I've probably read a number of books.
A lot of that is very, very personal. I think it's a great response, and I appreciate the response, Mr. Friend. I hope Quentin does as well. We have a question. Last week we had a famous celebrity on, kind of like yourself, in the music industry, actually. His name was Mr. Andrew Sherlock, and he had a question. I kind of talked to him about you and that you were coming on the show, and he had a question for you. He was wondering what your favorite type of bark is. He was just asking. Actually, his specific question, he wrote it down here. I have it on a post-it here. He says he wants to know if you appreciate bark, and if so, what type of bark?
Bark. Oh yeah, bark. I do enjoy bark. Are you talking about wood bark though?
Yeah, of course. I think he's specifically, kind of specifically talking about wood, different types of wood barks.
Oh, that's different. Okay, no, my mother-in-law, she makes
Snack bark.
She calls it bark, and we get it around Christmas, and it's like white chocolate.
Oh, of course. Oh, that's a terrific type of bark. Yeah, we call it birch bark because it's white chocolate. We call it birch bark, and it's a wonderful snack.
And it has like little bits of the peppermint candies, candy canes in it. So it's candy cane bark. I do like that. So I think it's a different question you're asking.
Yeah, so that is, it's a very different question, but I think we'll move on. Obviously, it seems like a sensitive issue. So I guess kind of what I wanted to ask you is why you decided to join the wood enthusiast community, why you kind of decided the proverbial, hop on board, hop on board the train, Reverend Friend. So I'm just questioning what, maybe you could tell the audience for us why you decided to join.
Join? What am I doing now? I guess I thought I was already part of the community here.
Well, I guess this is a little bit uncomfortable, but what I'm trying to say is what caused you to join in the first place?
What is there a membership fee or something? I'm just curious as to how much it costs.
Well, yeah, there actually is the membership fee. Gary Gilbert is actually the one who kind of controls the membership, and there's a small annual fee that kind of gets you on board and helps you pay. It helps pay some of the costs and defer some of the costs for us, and helps you become truly a part of the membership, and you get the the annual subscription, and it's kind of a process. But
I'm just curious as to how much it costs to actually be a member of the community. Like, I don't have to move or something? Because
of course not.
You know how I feel about traveling, so.
Of course not. I know you've got.
Well, that remains to be seen, I suppose. Yeah.
Of course not. I know you've got a beautiful studio, and I know that you absolutely are. There's no intentions of us trying to pull you in over here, and in fact, we'd love to see some more action in Alberta when it comes to our community. So, we're happy with you just kind of staying where you are and just kind of paying your dues, so to speak.
Well, hey, Larry, it was wonderful to be here. I'm glad that someone out there is listening to my voice. Really glad to be a part of the wood enthusiasts community. I guess especially if my membership dues are already covered for me. So, well,
you still gotta pay.
Yeah, I'm really just glad to be here.
I'm not sure who's paying your dues, but I really appreciate it, Mr. Reverend Josh Friend. It's so important to us that you continue on with us and that you continue to be part of our group, because we absolutely adore your voice. Sorry, we just absolutely we're engrossed with your voice. It's got a lovely timbre, and it's something that we hope we can continue on. And people, they've actually been commenting on my voice, saying I've got a really soft, wonderful timbre and a voice that's probably very similar to yours, and some of the praise, that you've been getting, some of the praise,
Yeah, your voice is certainly it's higher than my voice, and I'm very low. Yep.
Just excited about that.
Yep.
Oh, that was so great. Now, Josh, he had to close up shop, and he's moved on. But we're so thankful. We're so impressed. We're so impressed with some of the people that have kind of joined us in our community, from professional, international celebrity musicians and international celebrity voiceovers. So what I wanted to say was, at the very start, we listed some movies, and you may have recognized some of those movies. And what I wanted to say is that Mr. Friend has also seen those movies. So thank you so much again for joining us and for being part of our team here and kind of following along. And please don't forget, we need you guys on YouTube, because we don't have very many subscribers. So I'm asking you, specifically you. I'm actually speaking directly to you. If you could see me, my eyes would be looking at you. But please subscribe, jump onto YouTube, and don't even watch our videos. Don't even watch them, just subscribe. We just need some subscribers and followers, so we can kind of build our community. We need your help. I can't do this alone. My name's Larry Woodstone, and I've kind of got a big voice, and I've got such a big personality, and I've got so many fans and such a huge community. But on the internet social world, we're struggling to build. So please join us and follow us and subscribe and like us and just do what you can to help us out, because in the end, we're really helping out the world, bringing back the truth about wood. The truth of the beauty of wood, and how much wonderfulment that it can bring to everybody that ever really embraces it. So please join us, and thank you again for joining us this week on Wood Enthusiasts.